welcome to everybody who is joining this Fiberific live craft and chat. Sorry we're running a minute or two late. I realized just as I was about to go live that I didn't have any of my background lights on. So I had to, can't have a live stream without my pretty background lights, can I? Oops, and I'm thinking, why is that blocking the light? And it's because that's in the way. Everything's a mess here. And why is it a mess, you may wonder? Oh, because I'm working on our very, very first Fiberific retreat, Fiberific On Retreat. And so there's only so much space, so I've like just shoved stuff out of camera view. Hello, thank you, framing, to make it look pretty for our live stream this morning. So it is one more sleep. That's right, Sally. We've got one more sleep. I've just got to add in, like, I'm so not ready. I don't even have I have YouTube running on another device so that I can see if there's a problem. I don't even have that running yet. Like, that's how not with it I am. I should probably not do things like that. That's terrible, isn't it? Hang on a second. While I'm doing this, if you want to jump out and share this link with anyone in your area, like if you're in a Facebook group or run a Facebook group that lets you put links in, go out and grab some more friends to come and join the fun while I, work out what I'm doing here. Going to my own channel. There we go. It's going to be loud. Turn the volume right down, even though I muted it. I'm totally going to skip the ad. There we go. Okay. That seems to look all right, for the scheme of live streams. We've got lots of people traveling from interstate. I'm getting messages or seeing messages of people as they travel, and it's really exciting that they're all traveling to come and hang out up at the Fiberific On Retreat. So it is the first one of its kind. I am nervous, to say the least. Nervous. I'm really looking forward to it, but at the same time, I just want it to be fun for everybody. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things where it's not inexpensive, and then for those of you that have to travel in as well, and I'm like, oh gosh, I hope they have a good time and they feel like they had value, because that's what I want to give out of a weekend like this, is like relaxation and enjoyment and hanging out with other crafters, which we haven't been able to do for ages, and just chill, Fiberific, if you just know, if the food kills anybody, it's not due to my cooking. That's right, because I'm not cooking. We've got the wonderful Leonie from Stacey's at the Gap who's going to be looking after us. I've been to a few retreats there, and I'm not dead. So, there's that. Chaos Creator says, I'm great value. Yeah, she is. Totally. Chintami says, watching while at work, so probs won't be very chatty. This morning I saw some nice early birds. So Kathy Breyer and Christina M, you were the first early birds this morning, or Kathy was the firstest. We're going with that. And then Freaky was in after that. Lots of chatting happening here. I'm not going to catch it all. So I'm just going to scroll down to catch all the new ones. I did not think that you would read that. Yeah. So Game Widows is madly sewing some bags because she's going to have a stall at the retreat. So I'm going to bring some goodies, and Game Widow's going to bring some goodies. So we'll have you covered there. So it is going to be, so this is, okay, for those of you that can't make it to the retreat, okay, this is the plan. Are you ready? The plan is that I'll actually make a video of the retreat, like nothing, like not the whole weekend or anything like that, but like a bit of a, there's a word for it. Summary. That's not the word. There's another word. Of just some of the fun that we get up to, and if anyone wants to come and say hello, they can. And I will definitely be, we need a flat Kathy. We're just going to have this wall of people who it was too far to travel, of all these flat attendees. And so I'm definitely going to try and make a little bit of a video about the weekend as well to post up on the channel so that we can all see it. Overview, yeah, that's probably it, but maybe making it sound a little formal. It won't be formal. It's me, you guys. Do we do anything formal? No formal things here. Sorry, I'm just corner of my eye chat, trying not to get sucked into the convo. It's a hilarious convo, so make sure you're looking at the chat. So yeah, so I'm going to try and do that, as well as get some good photos for Instagram, and we'll try and post this over the weekend as well. The internet service up there, it can be good and can be spotty, so I don't want to promise any kind of live stream or anything like that, or you know, Instagram live or anything, just in case I can't do it. So keep an eye on the socials just in case we can go live quickly. But the reality is I'm probably going to want to spend time with the people that have like made it as well. So I'm gonna wing it. I'm gonna see how it feels, how it goes. You know what I mean? They won't fit me in a suitcase. They won't fit me in a suitcase either. So I did something different with my coffee this morning. I'm not sure how I feel about it. So because, you know, within 10 minutes of a live stream, my coffee's cold, right? So all live stream, I'm drinking cold coffee because there's no one here to make me a fresh one. And I feel like coffee today, not tea. Otherwise, I would be able to put it in the tea thermos and then that would be solved. But I really feel like I need the coffee because I've been burning the midnight oil, making pretty things. And so what I did was warm the milk, which I don't normally do. I just made it, I just took the like I popped it in the microwave for like 10 seconds. So I just took the chill off the milk so that it didn't just instantly chill down. And some people are like, oh, you know, like just use less milk. It's like, no. I need that amount of milk. Chintami's saying use your T2 thermoses for coffee too. It is, Chintami, but I don't like to put milk in to containers that I can't scrub out properly, if that makes sense. I'm really fanatical about like I've only just been able to come to grips with using the T2 thermos and also using like those stainless steel water bottles because I can't see under the lip to make sure I cleaned it properly. Like I'm in there scrubbing, but I'm really funny about it. So anything with milk, I absolutely have to be able to see it. So, yeah, sorry. Like I understand that it can do it, but it's not doing it here. Get a third one. Oh, no. It's more about me keeping it clean. That's the problem. You don't need to spend time with me. No, that's fine, Kim. I won't. It's totally cool. So what I've done, yeah, I've got bottle brushes. It's more about me being able to see it. And I don't trust the cleaning things. It's just a thing. If I can't see it, I can't get the milk out, and bad milk is bad. So for my crafty bits today, I have pulled out this guy again. I'm working on some of the crochet edges. I'm actually taking this project to retreat with me as well. Because, you know, you guys might annoy me so much I need stabby craft. Just saying that. Just saying that. Jackie says Fiberific on Retreat. Yeah, absolutely. I've been using the hashtag FiberificOR for Fiberific on Retreat. But I could use the full Fiberific on Retreat, couldn't I? I just think Fiberific OR is quicker. Does that make sense? Like, I just thought something smaller was quicker. Anyway, let me know what you think. Do you prefer like a full, like every word spelt out hashtag, or do you prefer it like truncated a little so that you can use it quicker? What do you think? Let me know in the chat. Like, if you use hashtags, do you like the full long worded out ones, or do you like the short, like snappy? Fiberific on Retreat, like all the words says exactly what it is, and Fiberific OR is a bit more like only we know what it is. Does that make sense? Game Widow says, or I just get frustrated with you and take them away and get them done. Jeez. Jackie says, yes, but once you've used it once, it does come up each time. That definitely is true. It's definitely true. Chintamani likes both. OR is operating room in Kathy's mind. Original Sally says, doesn't bother me once you start typing. It gives you options. I mean, you're all right. You're all telling the truth. Hashtags with all the words because that's how I roll. I had to stop there for a second because it was like that showy roll. Jackie says also full long words with capitals on each word means that screen readers can read it properly. I don't know if you can capitalize in standard hashtags. I do think they decapitalize all the words and make them lowercase. Now I do have a notepad here and a pen, right? So if any of you can think of anything that I need to absolutely remember for this retreat, that's what this notepad is for, okay? So if you guys have got anything that you can think of that I need to remember. Jackie's saying, in the interest of accessibility and all, and I don't want to be cancelled. Oh, isn't it just I'm going to go off on a little tangent here, guys, because this is something that bothers me, okay? I understand that we need to be accessible and have accessibility on our socials and on our websites and things like that. I get that. And I understand why. And I understand that we need to make venues accessible and we need to make everything accessible. And I get it. I really do. But when someone is obviously trying to understand or trying to learn how to do it correctly, or they've made a mistake and they're trying to fix it, why cancel them? Why not help them fix it? Why not help them make it accessible? Why cancel? There's some things that I'm all for boycotting, right? I'm just yeah, nah, that's done. And it's when someone over and over and over and over again hasn't even tried or just basically does the finger up, and I get that. But when somebody legit just makes a mistake, or in my case, tiny business, one person, and is trying to do all of these things and makes a mistake. I mean, not that I'm aware I have. I'm not having any issues yet, now that I've said it. But I just get frustrated when people aren't given the opportunity to learn or change, and they're just cancelled. They're like, nope, you stuffed it up, bye, see ya. They're not given the chance to fix it, and they're not shown how to fix it. For me, no idea how I would make my website accessible. I purchased a theme, which I assume is accessible. I don't know. I personally don't run any of the software. I wouldn't even know where to look to run the software because I don't need it. And that sounds so ableist, and I know. But I just don't understand why someone can't go, oh, look, honey, all you need to do is run this thing. And if it doesn't work, then you can go over here and get this to add to your website. And legit give me a step-by-step. Because it's not that I don't want to do it, it's I don't know how to do it, and I can't afford to pay someone else to do it for me. And if you cancel me, I can afford it even less. So I'm just having a read here. Chaos Creator says, cancel culture does not encourage people to learn or change. Nope, it definitely doesn't. Jackie says, cancelling just alienates the people who want to help because they just give up. Yep, absolutely. And Chaos says, especially when there's lynch mobs involved. Absolutely. And Jackie says that they demand we change, but then they never let anyone actually change. Once damned, always damned. And I agree with that. You look at in a slightly different tangent, you look at these people who have written a tasteless or terrible tweet 15 years ago or 10 years ago. Now, I know for myself, 10 year ago Chantel is very different than now. There's been 10 years of growth and change and opinion changing and education and life, and things change. And I realized that things that I watched or comedy and things like that that I watched 10 years ago, or even like some of that 80s comedy that was like mainstream 80s comedy, you look at it now and you're just like, oh my God, I laughed at that. Oh my God, this was my favorite for years. Oh, this is so bad. And you just like, and it's because in the last number of years, I have changed and my tastes have changed and I've been educated and I've been given the opportunity to learn and change. And so now you've got all these people who like want to cancel websites and want to boycott websites and want to destroy small businesses because of something that's happened. All right, something that has made it inaccessible to somebody, and that is not good. Like, I'm not saying, oh well, I'm saying let them learn how to fix it and give them the opportunity to fix it and understand it's not free sometimes. And for small businesses, we need time to save up to do some of these changes, because we don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars sitting in a bank account for some UBU specialist to come in and solve all our problems. So like, sorry, I really dragged out the soapbox on this one, didn't I? I'm so sorry, everybody. It's been something that's been bugging me a little bit lately, that like, and it's not just yarn industry, it's lots of different businesses. I follow a lot of different things online, and it's just, they are all like smashing into each other, and you're just like, why cancel something that can be fixed? Do you know what I mean? Like, if you give them the chance, they can fix it and they can learn and they can grow. But if you cancel them, that's it. They haven't learned. And then someone comes in going, oh, there's a gap in this industry, jumps in, making the exact same problems. And you're just like, nobody learned. Nobody learned. Or had the opportunity, like they probably wanted to try to learn. Anyway, let's crochet something. All right, let me just jump into this. There we go. All right, I've got a hook. I've got my cup. Today's sponsored by Fiberific. Get your Fiberificness over at the Fiberific Redbubble store. Fiberific. Yep, there's lots of stuff. I tell you what, Kim, this morning I was looking around like literally 5 minutes before stream because I'm like hungry, and I was like, I need something that I can just eat quickly. And then I'm looking around and I'm like, nope, everything takes time, and just didn't eat anything. Jen Deal says, because people think it's easy to give up. I don't always think that's the case. I think sometimes they're just railroaded into a corner and they think that there's no way they're going to be able to make these people happy, so they give up. Yeah. But anyway, we have topic changed because I was getting quite passionate about it. I sound like Bridget Jones, like in a good way. I don't even know what that means. I haven't seen the Bridget Jones movie, so I don't know if I've just been insulted or not. Oh dear. I just went from the outside of the ball. That's really going to bug me later. Should I just fix that now? I should, because that... So this is the Bendigo Cotton. I believe this is a 4-ply based on how it's feeling. Yes, 4-ply. This is not going to focus for you. It's the Bendigo Cotton in Glacier, which is a really nice grey. Oh, Yarn Bath. Hello, Yarn Bath. Look. I probably, because I think I pulled out from there, but if I had have like found the actual middle, there would have been less Yarn Bath. There's the end, everybody. Nothing to see here. It's the end. The end is perfect. Woohoo! All right. Now it's 1, 2, 3, 4th space from the corner. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, in a good way. It was cute. Okay. All right. Yeah. I probably should. Do you know what? It's not that I didn't like the Bridget Jones movies. I missed the first one. So I didn't want to go and see the rest. So, yeah, I just didn't. Jackie says the plane is at 3:25. Is your plane at 3:25 today, Jackie, or is that tomorrow? Oh, he's going back to her packing. Have you used a luxury 12 ply? I want to know if it's super chunky. I've used a luxury 10 ply, not super chunky. It's more like a good 8 ply. But then I've always found that Bendigo yarns are a dash on the slim side for yarn. Tell you what, I did like the 10 ply though, and I probably would try the 12 ply, but I don't think it would be super chunky. Because as far as I'm concerned, Bendigo don't do super chunky. They think they do. But no. Now, so I'm just working on my, for those of you that don't know, I'm working on my high tea crochet fusion blanket, or fusion crochet blanket. Which way is it? High tea fusion quilt. Sorry, totally got all the words wrong. I had a memory come up in Facebook yesterday about it, where yesterday, a year ago, I had finished cutting out all the squares and was getting ready to stitch them together. So, because they're all stitched and turned. So it may be more like a worsted. I think it might be more like a true worsted. Yeah. Like a good middle worsted, whatever that is, the middle. I'm trying to source some affordable, sustainable yarn in bulky weight to make hats. Yes, it is tricky. And by sustainable, what do by sustainable, are you talking environmentally sustainable, or just sustainable as in something that you can get regularly so people can order hats? Kathy says, I ordered some stuff from your Amazon affiliate. Hope you get a few dollars. Oh, thank you, Kathy. I very much appreciate you using my affiliates. Sally, my question for you is, what makes you think that Bendigo is any more sustainable than any other mill in an environmental manner? Because I know Bendigo say some things that aren't 100% true. Or more, not so much that they say things that aren't true, they omit information about certain areas of their processing, unless something recently has changed, which it could have. And I'm like, how do I put this? I don't care that much, as long as they're upfront, because I buy I buy yarn from all over the world. I don't care that much about that sort of thing. But if you say you're 100% Australian made, or if you say Australian made, I expect that to include the scouring, which, as far as I'm aware, at this stage, they don't do in Australia. They do their scouring offshore. I know that their cotton is not spun on shore. It's spun in another country and then it's come here to be balled, because to be considered Australian made, there's a percentage. It's not 100% to get the stamp. How many people are coming to camp? I think there's 18 of us in total. I think that's right, 18 off the top of my head. That's what I've been working on. Been making all the things, getting them ready for you guys based on 18. Camp is going to be so much fun. So how many of you have been on a craft camp or craft retreat before? Let me know in the chat. I may be prone to spontaneous song. I may have songs for different tasks that I didn't realize I hummed until it was pointed out to me, and I thought I stopped doing it. Turns out I haven't. Sally says, oh, I wasn't thinking sustainable really, but my sister suggested I look for sustainable. I was looking at them because they are more affordable. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. They provide Australian jobs. They use Australian wool. And they have a good product at a good price. A little clearer about all the different processes that have to happen. Because the reality is, the reason they process some of this stuff offshore is because they have no choice. There's no one in Australia that can do it at the levels that they need it done at, like the quantities. And so, you know, they don't have the option, and that's fine. I'm not like, I'm okay with that, but I don't like that they don't make it public knowledge. Like, you have to really research and check it out and really dig deep. It's not just somewhere listed on their website, say. Christine Rogers, hey, welcome to the chat. The Shawn Sheep label and Big W, like the acrylic yarn, is from Bendigo, Lancel Street on the labels. That's right. So Bendigo Woolen Mills purchased Australian Country Spinners, who own, or owned, they own nothing now, who owned all of like the Peyton's brand and Shepherd and a lot of those guys. And they also got Shawn the Sheep and a couple of others. And so, yeah, whereas, you know, it could well be balled and tagged in Australia, but I don't think they're making it here, honestly. You would love to see me sing. I don't know about that. Kim's prone to spontaneous drinking. You'll be happy to know, Kim, that yesterday I managed to go booze shopping for the retreat, and now I have wine. So, I mean, and like, guys, that was a legit concern. I wasn't sure if I was going to get time to go booze shopping. My week has been chaotic. Where are we? My sister is an environment nut and all into that. The shop she sells her ceramics sells the sustainable things too. So if she's a sustainable nut, where is she getting her clay from? Where are we? That's not the message you sent through, isn't it? I'll have to have a look. That's the message I was trying to send. I'm concerned now. Like, what message did I send? Oh wait, no. Okay. I remember now. I remember. Okay. Oh dear. Sally says that she's buffering a little on her end, wondering. I think it's you, Sally, on this particular instance. I think it's you. I'm just having a squeeze in the chat. Okay, I'm up to the next bit. I just need to have a little looky at what I'm doing here. Oh wait. No, I did the wrong thing. Okay, 1, 2. I'm like reading the next thing across because I haven't done one of these in a little while. Okay, so we're getting into the answers of a question. So we've had I asked before if any of you have been to a craft retreat or camp or anything like that. Box Elf says she has never been. I saw someone earlier saying that that they had. Oh, that was a hands up. Maybe I misconstrued that. I briefly had the wheel of buffering death. I'll have to move this over a bit closer, but not in the shot so I can see it a bit better because I don't have my glasses on. They're on the top of my... Look, let's just do it. Okay, fine. Freaky says, I've been to a camp many moons ago. So, yeah, camps are fun, you know, like... And this is the thing. And it's not just about doing stuff with like-minded crafters, I don't reckon. I reckon sometimes it's about getting away and not being at home and being able to like just think about something else that's not, you know, what's for dinner for the family and things like that. Is that just me who really looks forward to that part of retreat? Oh, guys, I'm going to sneeze. Hang on. Oh, seriously, sorry. Kim says all the retreats. Yes, Kim's done a lot of retreats. Jen did a quilt retreat once. Was that fun, Jen? Did you enjoy that? I haven't done a quilt retreat. I've done lots of spinning retreats, and I've done a couple of sewing retreats, but it was more making bags. Bless the sneezer, thank you. And so yeah, so it's interesting, and like I've been to a lot of retreats, and all of them have been a little bit different. Oh, hang on a second, I did something wrong there. That one doesn't go there. And they all have like different levels of comfort and different quality of food, and that plays a part. That plays a part, you know, like if you go to a retreat and you're not comfortable, it makes it hard to enjoy it. You know, if you didn't get a good night's sleep, it makes it hard to enjoy it. If the food's messing with your tummy, it makes it really hard to enjoy it. So yeah, I'm just realizing I wasn't watching my hands, and I wasn't watching the screen, so I didn't know if it was blocking or not. Game Widow says I massaged at a scrapbook retreat. Well, that's kind of different. You weren't scrapbooking at the retreat. Jen says it was fun, and it was a long time ago when I seriously quilted. This venue that we're going to, they run a lot of quilting and sewing workshops, which is why we all get like a nice big table each with PowerPoints and stuff on it. Because they normally have to allow for people to have a sewing machine and an iron. So yeah, I have to say, I love having my little Cricut iron. So those of you that don't know, for Christmas, my family bought me a Cricut maker. And there were all sorts of rules about how I could use it. And then it turned out that apparently they were joking, and I didn't need to follow those rules quite as much to the letter as I did. Stinkers. I just need to go and grab a tissue, you guys. I'll be back in a second. Sorry. Sorry about that. You know when your nose just gets that tickle and you're just like, oh, I've got to deal with this. But yeah, so the stupid rules, yeah, they were dumb rules. I agree. And no, they're not in place anymore. It was just so I could use my Cricut in the lead up to Christmas, without using it for like work / fiberific related stuff, if that makes sense. They wanted me to enjoy it a little bit before I started going hard with like fiberific branding and bag making and sticking the fiberific logo all over things. I mean, I haven't bought that much in the fiberific blue. So yeah, but I've been having a lot of fun with my Cricut over the last few days, and really just learning some of the things that it can do and thinking outside of the square a little bit, like doing some stuff well and truly within the square, but also thinking outside of the square. Kim says, do you know what's really dumb? My husband thinking I should make things to sell to fund my next new machine. Ugh. It's like he doesn't even know you, Kim. It's a bit cooler in Brisbane today. It is a little. It's a bit cooler in Brisbane today. I jokingly said that on Twitter. It wasn't jokingly that I had the heater on because it was freezing out here this morning. This little shack was so cold that I actually popped the heater on for a little while just to take the chill out of the air. But I was like, it's legit Brisbane cold today. Like, I mean, I've got long pants and a long sleeve shirt on. I mean, I'm still wearing like my Birks, but I've got long clothes on, and I've got the sniffles from the weather change overnight. Hey, John. Want to hear a funny story? I'm still wearing my Birks too. Yes. Is that the funny story? Because that was hilarious. Oh dear. Something that came in this morning. I don't know if you guys want to hear, but my distributor has shipped me what did they ship me this time? A clutch kit. No, it's my Chowgoo distributor. They repurpose boxes from God knows where, but not Chowgoo, Clover. So I've got a whole pile of Clover stuff to unbox if you want to see it. Melissa made it to chat. Hey, Melissa. So do I need to bring a shawl, beanie, and possibly a blurred line sweater? Look, how do I put this? Cold for Brisbane's not necessarily cold for anywhere else in the entire world. Does that make sense? I would definitely bring something a bit warm. I mean, you're going to have your Fiberific hoodie, right? But yeah, I would definitely be bringing something to keep you warm because the night temperatures are really dropping, and it's taking longer to warm up in the mornings. I think we're expected to have some nice weather though while we're away, which I think is going to be great. You're gonna sort out your craft while you're here. Oh dear. Funny story is I made goulash for dinner last night. I had to take Maddie to gymnastics, so I told John to add the potato at 5 p.m. so that it would be cooked when we got home. Oh, I don't want to know. I'm so scared about the next sentence. What did he add it? He noticed I didn't have mushrooms to add to the pot, so he got them out of the fridge and prepped them to add as well. Oh gosh. Don't you normally add the mushrooms last because the kids don't eat the mushrooms? Oh, I'm so scared. Oh, to discover that the reason there were no mushrooms to be added was because I'd already added them. Oh my gosh. So it was a very mushroomy goulash last night, or have you got some pre-prepped mushrooms in the fridge? Oh gosh. Wow, that's a lot of mushrooms. That's a lot of mushrooms. Oops, I forgot to do a thing. So this is what happens when I read the chat, you guys. I get sucked in. Oh no, and I nearly did the exact same mistake. Do you guys do that as well? Like pull something out to fix it and then do the exact same thing back into it again? Then you have to pull it back out again? Because I like do that all the time. Now I have no mushrooms for my lunch like I was planning. I'm having leftover taco stuff for lunch today. We had tacos for tea last night. And my husband's like, why don't you just warm up like the taco, because we use soft tacos, so why not just warm up we are having some problems with the stream bitrate right now. Hopefully you guys are all okay. Oh, it's the audio stream bitrate. No, ignore that. That won't be affecting anything at all. yeah, so, and he's like, why don't you just heat up some of your soft taco? Because I have the soft taco, like the tortillas. And so I like to just, because I'm such a bogan, I like to get like a bowl with the lettuce and some cheese and the tomato and any others, like the salsa or whatever else we've used for the tacos that night. Heat up the taco mince, plop it on the top, put a bit of sour cream on it, and eat it like a taco salad. And he just doesn't seem to appreciate that. In my brain, it means I haven't had the same thing for dinner and lunch. They're different. Tacos, taco salad. Different, right? Totes different. On the upside, Maddie kept saying he wanted non-death goulash. Because Maddie doesn't like mushrooms, is that right? Non-death goulash. Oh my gosh. Am I doing the right thing? Yes, just double checking I'm doing the right thing before I go ahead. It's totes different. It is. It's totes different. It feels different when I'm eating it because I eat this with a fork, whereas the other one with tacos, you just eat with your hands, and so it's different. It's a different experience. Oh dear. And there were comments made on my lettuce shredding last night. Can you believe it? Can you believe someone had the audacity to comment on my lettuce shredding skills? Apparently, I made the grass too thin this time. So, you guys have tacos in Australia? That's awesome. Yes, we do. We have lots of foods here. There's this thing called the internet, so we can look up things and learn how to make them. He won't eat mushrooms, but he kept saying he wanted me to try a meat substitute because he feels bad for the animals, but not bad enough to stop eating meat. Oh, look, we've had this discussion in our household as well, about going vegetarian and going vegan and things like that. And Abby actually pointed out an article that she was reading. I don't know where she read it. And it was about this girl who grew up absolutely horse mad, rode for years and years and years, competition level, and then as she was aging, getting a bit older, she's still a teenager, she decided to go vegan, and then realized that all of her horse riding in her life was actually like anti-vegan, like it was like, because vegans don't have pets, apparently. I didn't understand this, because having an animal as a pet is slavery of some description, I believe. Now I'm sure not all vegans are the same. But this particular girl was trying, in this article, she was trying to come to grips with the fact that she had been so into the horse industry and so into horse riding and things like that. And now that she was vegan, it was trying to just trying really hard to not, like, I don't know. I think she's like coming at it from a good place, but she's trying to reconcile with herself that she was involved in this for such a long time and so passionate about it. And it's a big hole in her life because it was pretty well every waking minute was horse riding. Chaos Creator says, I like the vegans who eat mayo because they think it's non-dairy, and then they don't realize it's got eggs in it. Ugh. Yes, there's also lots of leather in horse riding. Absolutely. Look, there's so many different issues with like agriculture and animal husbandry, and I don't know if being vegan's the answer to it. I think that there's lots of options, but I don't know. Look, the reality is I couldn't personally handle being vegan. I like yogurt too much. I love yogurt. Yogurt's probably one of my favorite foods in the world. And don't even come at me with non-dairy options. I'm sorry. Like, it's just not going to happen. Jen Deal says, I've been vegetarian for 11 years, nothing to do with animal rights. Well, and that's the thing. Like, being vegetarian is different to being vegan. Like, you're just not eating meat. Whereas the vegans, it seems to be more of a holistic lifestyle. Sorry, John, I'm confused here. So, I let some vegans I know that that Guinness isn't vegan. What's in Guinness that makes it non-vegan? Just curious. And photography. Like, I'm so curious as to know how these two things are non-vegan. Shintami says, when I'm out, I say vegan because it's so much easier than saying vegetarian. Really? Like, because the people not... Oh, the gelatin in photography. I didn't even think of that. Gosh. Is it really the yeast? Because that means, like, vegans can't eat bread. Like, there's so many things that have yeast in it. What's isinglass? Isinglass? I don't know what that is. People constantly confuse the two. Yeah. Like, because I was under the assumption, okay, because I could be totally wrong now, that vegetarians just don't eat meat, right? Vegans don't eat meat, don't eat dairy, don't eat anything that could possibly, no eggs, nothing that could come from an animal. Is that right? Wow. I'm learning so much, you guys. It's amazing how many think that vegetarian means you eat fish and eggs. See, I knew it didn't mean fish or no, fish or eggs, but you still eat dairy, right? Chintamani, is that right? Like, you eat the product of the animal, but not the animal. Is that right? Like, for general vegetarians. And they don't eat bread unless it's gluten-free. Wow. Okay. If not eating animals' products is good for your health, go for it. Like, and that's the thing. I've got things I don't eat because they don't sit right with me, for sure. Wow. Okay. Cool. Like, for me personally, I eat a limited amount of red meat. I do eat chicken. I like chicken. Chicken's yummy. I also like bacon. I'm not the biggest pork fan, but I do like bacon. But we don't have meat in every meal, and we don't have big portions of meat. Like, we don't do that. You know those giant steaks that you see people eat sometimes? I couldn't. The thought of that just does my head in. Like, that's so much food. Like, that's my. It's not so much like that's a huge piece of an animal. In my brain, it's just an enormous amount of heavy food. Anyway, but yeah, absolutely, Gamer Widows, your body, your choice, for sure. Absolutely. Gluten is not an animal product, it's a plant-based protein. Because gluten-free bread can still have yeast in it, right? Chaos Creator says Costco steaks are gigantic. Like, that's the thing. Like, I'm that person who upsets the butcher, right? Like, I'll go in and I'll buy like an entire rump and get them to slice it into little thin 1 centimeter steaks. And you see them, they're like, are you, what? They don't want to do that. That's destroying their craft. And I'm just like, no. That's how we like it at our place. Thanks. That's great. But yeah, no, you're right. Different people can have different things. Someone asked Maynard from Tool if the wone he made was vegan. I don't understand what that is, but I think that's also funny. He made a video dipping bacon in the vat so that it was no longer vegan. Look, it's I'm not anti-vegan. I'm not anti anything really. Well, I am anti a few things, but not anti anything that is whether or not someone can stomach food or not. And as to their own beliefs around it. I just don't want to be force fed their vegan isms. I do get concerned though, like if I'm staying with vegetarians and stuff like that, I won't eat meat in their house. It's their house. It's just like if a smoker comes to stay at my house, I expect them not to smoke in my house. Things like that. Oh, Kirby coming in with the facts. Yeast is literally on everything because it's in the air. So technically, you could never be pure vegan. You are so right because it totally is everywhere. Oh wow. Jackie has a very good point here. My thing is to try and be mindful of where things come from and choose things that are made or grown with care and thought. And that's the thing, isn't it? Is be aware of what you're eating and consciously make decisions and stand by your own decision. It's that simple. It's just like, okay, look, sometimes it comes down to I don't have a lot of money, so I can't afford to make this lifestyle choice. And other people are like, you know what? I don't like eating this thing, so I'm not going to eat it. And that's 100% okay. Both of those, 100% okay. Egg whites are often used to clarify wines, so generally not vegan. Absolutely. And these poor people who are allergic to eggs know all about the multiple uses of eggs and egg whites in our processing plants. But never be aware of what you're drinking. It's got content. Scarlet. Oh, Chopper. I'm always aware of what I'm drinking. I'm allergic to a preservative that's in some wine, so I have to, well, it's in a few things, so I have to be aware even of what I'm drinking. Game Widows says it's one of the reasons why I don't drink, because Game Widows is allergic to eggs. Also, never listen to me. How you going, Chopper? It's been ages. We're just talking about, you know what we're like here. We're talking random stuff. We're talking all the things. Talking about how my retreat starts on the week. It starts tomorrow. We got people starting their traveling today. Some people are already on the road. But yeah, we're just talking about how, you get to make your own decisions because it's your own body. And you don't get to force those decisions on other people. In saying that, when you come to retreats with Chantel, please don't bring alpaca or lavender soap or heavy perfumes because I will die. Oh, you're going to the movies with Nico today. Awesome. Yeah, sulfites give me migraines. It's why I stick to hard liquor. Yeah, sulfites are shocking. They're in so many things and I'm allergic to a lot of them. Yeah. What's dried apricots? Dried apricots that are orange are basically dripping with sulfites. So, yeah. Animal products are used in so many processes that aren't food related. I don't think that you could ever actually be completely animal free. No, you're right, because some machinery uses leather mechanisms to move. And yeah, there are a lot of instances where if you look down at every single step of the way, you realize, hang on a second. Or death cheese, that's right. Please don't bring your death cheese near me. Game Widows is willing to jump in front of the death cheese for me. Thank you. Totally appreciate that. Yeah, penicillin in a lot of things as well. people don't quite realise quite so much. I'll buy some drops from Dan Murphy's. I buy some drops from Dan Murphy's that help with the wine allergies. Oh, that's good. I do get my own plate. Like, seriously, guys, Leonie looks after us really, really well. If we have an allergy to something, she makes sure that we're not going to be affected. And so, like, if we have, like, cheese and crackers or something like that, she will literally hand me my own little plate where she's made everything for me, so I don't have to go near the death cheese. Chintami says it's surprising how many of those little numbers in the ingredients are actually animal products. Yeah. Some of the folks in the Zoomy chat witnessed the latest run with allergies. Alison wants to know what death cheese is. Alison, I have a very bad allergic reaction to penicillin. I have anaphylaxis is my reaction to penicillin. And brie and camembert and all the cheeses, like white mold cheese and blue mold cheese, all contain various amounts of penicillin. Blue mold cheese contains a lot more. White mold cheese contains teensy amounts, but because my allergy is so bad, I even get hit with that one. So I'm allergic to life. It feels like it, Kim. I'm allergic to all the yummy things in the world. Yeah, no blue cheeses, no white cheeses, or white mold cheeses. So brie, camembert, a couple of the other soft cheeses like that. So none of those for me. I'm sure they're delicious, but I've got plenty of cheese I can have. So, you know, it doesn't rule everything out, which is great because I really like cheese a lot. We did find out recently that Abby is not allergic to penicillin, so that is great. John says, I don't eat moldy cheese because of mold. Same reason I don't eat mushrooms. You don't eat mushrooms because they are a fungus? Oh yeah, goat's cheese is fine. Goat's cheese is fine. It's delicious. I particularly like those ones that are rolled in ash. That's very delicious. Yeah. And feta and cheddar and Gouda and so many other cheeses are fine. I'll be packing my Claritin. I always pack my antihistamines. now after Kath, who is coming along, actually rescued me at my first Margcraft retreat because I was traveling internationally. I arranged for the venue to supply my bed linens. Actually, did everybody? I don't know. Anyway, the venue supplied the bed linens, and unbeknownst to me, until halfway through the first night, we found out that the particular venue had a penchant for using lavender cleaners. They felt that lavender is antibacterial, which I'd just like to point out there is no science to back that fact up. Anyway, they washed all the linens in lavender. They washed all the surfaces, everything. And I'm in bed, like, not coping. I'm going basically lobster red, and I'm not breathing properly. And luckily, Kath had Claritin or Cezine or some antihistamine that came to the rescue, because the things I couldn't see, and the thing was, it didn't smell like lavender. Like, lavender's got a distinctive smell. Nothing smelt like lavender, but they used lavender everything, and I was just like, oh man, I'm out. Definitely, if you need medication, or you may need medication, bring it, because while we are all still in Australia, where we're going is a little bit out of the way. So I'm not quite sure how long it is to the nearest town. It's probably not that far, really. Sally says, I'm only allergic to one thing, and I highly doubt someone will be bringing an iron fusion to inject me with. Gosh. I mean, that's a legit point. Half an hour to Warwick. Okay, thank you. Yes, and I know where the mushrooms grow. Okay, fair enough. I personally like mushrooms. Not all of them, but I like some of them. I've just got to double check. You know when you get that feeling that you've done something wrong with your craft and you're like, I've got to just check it all. Because I've been focusing on you guys and not on my hands enough. And I have a feeling I've botchified something. So I'm just going to finish this repeat. And then I'm going to check it. And see how it goes. Okay. No, I think we're good. Half an hour is a long time when you can't breathe. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Valid point. Kaz says, my first retreat we went to, it was freezing. We went to work to get electric blankets. Really? Like, by freezing, what time of the year are we talking? Just so I can get concept. Well, John's 45 minutes from a different Warwick. And there are enough of us there that it will have something to tide you over. That's actually an excellent point. I mean, there'll be quite a few of us with like antihistamines with us. Yeah, like when was this? Like seriously, it's got to have been like July or something, like particularly cold. Or you're going to be just so sad. 1, 2, down. I've botched something up. I've got one too many. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look, we're just nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Just going in here. I don't know what you're talking about. There's no extra stitch in there that I'm hiding. Nothing to see here. Back to tinking for freaky. I was thinking it was September, but it was so cold. Oh my gosh. I mean, up in the mountains it's still a bit cold in September, I suppose. Kim says, and it wasn't just me, it was all the girls. Okay. All right. I posted a photo in the fun zone. So if you're watching the chat and you are not a member of the Fiberific Fun Zone, my big question for you is why not? That's where you can go and continue on the conversation, and you can share your own photos and your own projects so that we can all ooh and ah over them. So you should definitely be joining the Fiberific Fun Zone for all the Fiberific Fun Zone things. It's also free, and most people have Facebook. I mean, if you're not on Facebook, I get it. For all the funds. That's right. And sometimes we'll discuss things in here that we may have discussed in the fun zone and you might be missing. Links to the fun zone are now in the chat. Thank you guys. Appreciate that. We're nearly finished this square. So what is that? That's like half an hour? The allergy takes your smile away. Yeah. I can understand that. So, those of you in the chat that have said you've gone to a retreat, this question is probably not quite for you. But those of you in the chat that have not attended a retreat or a camp for craft, why? Just out of curiosity, I'm just wondering. Are they like not in your area, or you didn't know they were any around, or it's just not your thing? I would love to know why you haven't been to a crafty fun retreat or camp. Hey Liz, welcome to the chat. Doing bookwork while I watch. Freezing in Melbourne today, below 10. Oh my gosh. We're like double that, and I'm in a long sleeve shirt and long pants and it had the heater on. That's what I mean. Like, Queensland concept of cold does not match anywhere else in the world. Laura Miller, cost. Absolutely. That's a legit answer. Freaky says, don't travel, can't afford it, and don't like crowds. Fair enough. Fair enough. Talia says there was never one close enough. Okay. John says, I'm not in Australia. John, there's plenty in the US. Chat's jumping. Kerry's down the rabbit hole. For me, it's the cost. Morning all, getting my puppy today. Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. Which puppy are you getting? I need photos in the fun zone when you get your puppy, honestly. I'm having a week of sadness, and I didn't want to bring the chat down, but we lost our Snowy this week, and so I need all the puppy love, all the photos of all the puppy pets in the Fiberific Fun Zone. We need to make a thread so that it's just this place we can all go to look at smush faces. Trying not to cry and thinking about the lack of Snowy Cam. Okay, moving back to the chat. It's freezing in Melbourne and I'm not there. I know, what's with that? Normally I fly in and the temperature just drops. Holly says, I think it would be fun to attend a retreat, but I don't know if there is any in my area. Plus I would have to go by myself, which doesn't sound like fun. I do get that. I think the retreat that I went to with the least people that I knew was when I was a relatively new spinner. And I went to a spinning camp, but I recognized faces. I just didn't know people very well. And that was probably the closest to not knowing anybody. But yeah, it's one of those things. Allison says that she would love to attend the Pliaway retreat in the US. Some of those US retreats sound phenomenal. Absolutely. Like, there's this one that I could never go to because female, but there is a male crafters retreat that Franklin Habit does. Used to do. I don't know if he's still going to do it. And that one looked phenomenal. Those guys had such a blast. John says I craft retreat in my apartment. Yep. Freaky says kind of silly to look now with the shutdown still happening. Yeah, I get it. Chintamani says cost. Also, until recently, getting edible food was hard, but much easier now that vegan is more mainstream. Yeah. I only knew 2 people at my first sewing retreat. But sometimes, like, the reality is sometimes even just knowing one person makes a difference. Liz says, I couldn't think of anything better than a Yarny retreat. If there's one in Victoria, I would love to go. I think there is. There's one that, I have to think about that, but there was, I mean, I don't know if it's still being held. It got held a couple of years ago. I'm just going to, hope you guys can't hear that lawnmower noise that's happening out there. Yeah, there's a couple that get held down in Victoria. But we've got like Victorians coming up for the Fiberific retreat. So, you know, I barely know me or myself, let alone, anyway, fair enough. The original Sally says, just quietly. I've been very excited about this retreat when we first started talking about it a couple of years ago. Oh yeah, Wool Gathering. That's when I was thinking of Game Widows. And this is the thing, like, I had been throwing the idea of a retreat out for Fiberific for a couple of years, but the thought of running one really daunted me. And then I attended, the sewing retreat, and it just seemed so, like, I mean, the retreats I'd been to had like 80, 100 people. And the thought of running a retreat that large really was daunting. And so running this one at Stacey's at the Gap, where we could only have a maximum of 20 people, because of we still have to have social distancing and things like that. Excuse me. It seems so much more attainable to do, if that makes sense, and less stressful. Although in saying that, I'm still running around like a headless chicken because I'm like, I want it to be so much fun for everybody, and I want you all to feel like you've gotten good value. Not just, a weekend away, but a weekend away with fun. So, that's the plan. Weekend with fun. Or yarny fun. And the advantage is we've all got so much space that we can use. Leonie's even putting out, like, they have the cutting tables, so they're higher up tables, which would be fantastic if you need to block something. So that would be really cool. Drinking fun. That's right. Lots of fridges for your booze, Kim. This is a great retreat for that. So yeah, it is daunting, and it was daunting organizing it. And because it was originally years ago, the original plan was myself and a couple of other yarn crafters were going to do one together, and that was going to take some of the strain off. But it just kind of didn't happen. We had different ideas and different sort of like different views and things like that. I definitely would like. We'll discuss this next week or the week after. But if this is a success and if the people who attend enjoy it, I would definitely like to grow this, and have another retreat in another state as well, where it's a bit easier. Like I'll travel down rather than everybody traveling up. We could have helped you more if you let us, instead of insisting it had to be a surprise. I know. And Tim was talking about it last night because I had Tim and Abby helping me with some things. And he's like, surely some Fiberifians could have come and helped. And I'm like, yeah, they could have. And then they'd know what's in the loot bags, Tim. They'd know what the plans are. And I want it to be a surprise for everybody. So I know that, like you guys definitely were saying, we will help. But there were some things that I definitely wanted to keep a surprise, at least for this first one, because we're not running any like formal workshops or anything like that for this particular first retreat. I wanted it to be like as enjoyable as possible. But for future retreats, I would definitely have at least one part of a day where it's a little more formal and it's something to learn. But this is like a testing field. You're all guinea pigs. To see if I'm comfortable with this whole retreat running thing, and B, to see how I go with organizing. It's all about me. Let's see how I go with organizing and stuff like that. So, yeah. What we'll do, Liz, because I see here you said if you run a retreat next year, please count me in, is I'll definitely set it up in the mail list. So if you are on the email list, the Fiberific email list, you can just hit my website and scroll to the bottom and there's a place to enter in there. You can definitely pop it in there. But I'm sure we'll talk about it. Like, I can't keep quiet about these things. It's on Instagram. It's on Facebook. I made a blog post. Like, how often do I blog? Like, never. So people probably didn't know to go and read it because it's how often I go to blog. But anyway, Chaos says we can run a workshop on how to drink and still craft. Oh gosh. John says I'd help. I don't like surprises. I should have offered my inaugural hat pattern for the loot bag. Well, there'll be more loot bags. I have a question. Will there be any spiders in the bag? Look, if there are, I didn't put them there. That's all I'm going to say about that. Chaos Creators decided I wasn't really interested in running more retreats because it does cut into my drinking time too much. I think you might need to let Leonie know, because I think isn't she already selling tickets to your next cricket adventures? I don't want to say workshop because I know how you feel about that. But yeah, it's definitely been a learning curve for this retreat. So yeah, but we've had some amazingly generous sponsors as well. So it's, you know, we've got the Fiber Art Shed is sponsoring. They have a donation into every person's loot bag, because there is a loot bag. So the Fiber Art Shed is sponsoring. Gamer Widows is sponsoring. We've got Fiber Lily has sponsored. I'm trying to remember everybody. I don't want to miss anyone. That would be so disappointing. So Margicraft is sponsoring. So Fiber Art Shed, Margicraft, Fiber Lily, the Gamer Widows, Jackie Doyle's Snowflake Arts. Jackie, I've just trashed your business name. Jackie's sponsoring. I'm just having a think. Kylie from Little Moo Designs is sponsoring. There's actually quite a lot of sponsors. So, you know, we've got some giveaways to do over the weekend. Chaos Creator is correct. If you really want to sponsor Sally, there's still time. I've got printers, but you need to get it to me this afternoon. Oh my gosh. Okay. So in the chat, Kim has decided to invent some sort of chicken dance challenge. I was reading it and just laughing so hard. Honestly, it was just hilarious. Now, Kim, if you want to do the chicken dance challenge, you can run the chicken dance challenge. I mean, Kim says she's got a prize for it already. I may also be able to add into your chicken dance challenge prize pool. So yeah, it's one of those things. It's just like, oh my gosh, that just sounds ridiculous and fun. So yeah, just so much stuff. I feel like I've forgotten one of our awesome sponsors, and I feel terrible. I'm just having a think. No, I think that's it. I think that might be it. At least for our major sponsors anyway. There might be a small sponsor in there. I'm crocheting again. Let's there you go. Can see what I'm doing. I was so close to the end of this square, I thought I would just keep going. I'm just checking something here. Shame we cannot get a loot bag even though we couldn't be there in person. They sound wonderful. They are wonderful. They really are. And that's an excellent suggestion, Bub. I hadn't thought about that, and that's something that I could definitely learn from, is to make something available for the people that would love to attend that can't. So it's not quite so exclusive. Because I don't mean to be I mean for it to be, how do I put this? Yes, I want it to be exclusive, and for those people that are attending to have a special experience, but I don't want people to feel excluded by geography. Does that make any sense? I don't know. I want to be exclusive and inclusive at the same time. Instagram giveaway was drawn. It was drawn. And our own Emma from the Gamer Widows won it. And it was so exciting. And so it was just thrilling to see. I just remembered who the sponsor was that I missed. It's Cashmere Connections down in Victoria. Sorry, Cashmere Connections. Yeah, Emma won, and Emma, I believe you've chosen the dots for your bag choice, but I didn't notice if you've chosen a yarn choice yet. So I was just going to bring it all to the retreat and let you choose while you're there. So that's what I was going to do. I don't want to be a chicken. I really don't understand, Sally. I really don't understand. I did mention Margecraft. There is there a spider on the table? Why, John? Why do you think there's a spider on the table? Did you see something I didn't see? Oh, there better not be a spider on the table. I can't. Something was crawling around near the squares. I can't see anything. It wasn't just this yarn coming in. Oh. Did anybody else see anything? I can't see anything. There was an ant. I'm nervous now. Might have been an ant. There are ants. They're bugging me because of the wet. They've been coming into the shack. Okay, that's the last round of this. This one's ready to go in a blanket. Look at that. It's got no spiders on it. Tegan, you think it was playing with me? Well, it wasn't very funny if that was a game. Not my favorite idea of fun. It could have been an ant though. But ants are tiny. I'll check the replay later. Okay. I'm just starting this extra square, but oops, hang on. But do you guys want to see my clover order, or are you happy for me to keep crocheting? So now I'm paranoid. There's a spider floating around in here. I mean, the reality is it probably is because it's Queensland and we have spiders. Oh, now my skin is crawling. Oh, John, this is not good. Oh, so not funny. All right. Okay, so in the chat, let me know. Clover order or keep crocheting? I'm going to keep crocheting until I see some responses. Set the shed on fire. Yeah, it's a bit like that, just in case. I can't do both. Not at the exact same time, no. And I'm looking at the clock, and if we want to do the clover order, we should probably do it soon. Show us the clovers. Show us the clutch, kid. It's a bit like that. I open their orders now, and I'm like, I wonder which box I'm going to get today. Because it's so random. One time it was a shoebox, and another time it was just this cardboard that had been cut down. Looks like clover order is the theme here, so I might just push these things aside and bring out the clutch box. Clutch kit. We have a clutch kit from AEST. It's a Dakin clutch. And okay, paperwork out. They're stuck. They're still stuck. Like, they're so environmentally conscious, they reuse boxes, but then they pad it all out with, like, bits of plastic. Okay. Alrighty. We have still no Clover or more sets. They have said, oh, thank you, Stacey. I appreciate you doing that. Oh, thank you. So I've got like something like 8 Clover and more sets on order, waiting. Lots of people have been back ordering them. And I was told like since February that it was going to be April, and now they've said May. So still no Clover and more sets. We have got a seriously large number of various chibis. Okay. Which chibis do we have? We have got the 368s, the 340s, the 339s, and the 3121s. There you go. Okay, done with it. No. Okay, so the 3168s, they should be the purple ones. Yep. And these are the ones that do your really fine stuff, like your 2-ply, like for lace weight. So these ones are the 3168s. So there's some extras of those. The 340s are the big ones, so I think they're blue. Oops. Yeah, these are the jumbo ones. These are great for your worsted and thicker projects. There's only, chibis normally come with 3 in a pack. The jumbos only have 2. But I do love a good bent tip. It's very useful. Get back in the box, your little things. Shove. 3121s. I think they're the orange. Yep, there we go. Orange ones. So these are bent tips in your smaller sizes. These are good for sort of DK and 4-ply. This is the pack. This is my go-to pack. The 3121s. They're my go-to pack. So the orange ones. They're the ones I've got. I've got a couple of sets of those. And then also the green ones, which I like, which are these 339s. The green ones are good, but they're not bent. So you've got some really good sizes, but they don't have the bent tip. So if you prefer a straight tip rather than a bent tip, then the green ones are the ones for you, the 339s. Okay, so that's all our chibis out of the way. Then next, we have got rubber thimbles. We're out of stock of those, guys. This is one of those things that one time I just wanted some to try something. It was actually when I was doing these, and I wanted some rubber thimbles to try it, and so I just ordered, because, you know, 3 packs. I ordered one in, and I popped the spares in the shop, and they sold out. And I was just like, okay. And so I ordered some more, and then they sold out. So it's just like something I just keep in stock now. Flexible rubber thimbles is a thing, apparently. So they're really useful for a lot of things, and they're not too thick, which I like as well. Orange ones are Kim's favorites. She likes the straight for weaving tails and the bent for seaming. It's and something I like is that you can like both. Like, they're not ridiculously expensive, so you can have both sets, which I think is great. We've got some more quick lock markers. I'm just having a look at what we've got here. Locking stitch and quick locks. What are you? Okay, so the quick locks are the sheepies. So I've got extra of each size. What have I grabbed here? The large. This is the large of the sheepies. Or the quick locking, if you want the particular terms. But they're sheep, right? They're sheep stitch markers. They're all wiggly like sheep fur. They are sheep. My favourite are the medium. But I love how super light, and I also love how fine and even tipped they are. So when you slide it into your fabric, you don't feel like you're splitting your yarn. But the medium ones are my favourites. It's these guys here. So it's the pinks and the blues. So the different sizes have got different colours. And I love them because even if they come undone, they're less likely to fall out of my work. They still fall out if you jiggle your work around. And then these are the small ones. These are so ickle and cute, honestly. I have these just because they're cute. Like, look at these. They're so fine and cute. They're so fine. So if you're doing lace weight, again, this would be the way to go. And then these are just standard locking stitch markers. Oh, I've got that dry spot in my throat. Standard locking stitch markers. You know, the Padlocks. The stock standard Padlocks. Now, I sell in my web store a really cheap knockoff version. They break. They don't last, like they'll last a couple of years and then they break. But they're $3 for a packet of 20. These are considerably more expensive compared to that. I can't remember exactly how much it is. I think it's like $7 or $8 for a packet of 20. They do last longer. The other ones are smaller and cute and prettier colours. And they're cheaper because they're different level of quality. We've got some cable stitch holders. Are these the same? Let me look here. 330s. Yep, I must have just been out, so I ordered 2 packs. And these are just your little U cable stitch holders. You get a 3-pack of 3 different sizes of yarn. And so, you know, you want the size closest to the needle you're knitting with, or a dash smaller, so that you're not stretching your stitches out. So there's a couple. None of this is in the website yet. Like, this only arrived like minutes before the live stream started. So if you want some of this and it says pre-order, you know that it's here. And because I always try to order an extra box of these at every opportunity, 4 mil crochet hooks, because they're the ones that everybody wants. So Sally's saying 8 and 9 mil crochet hooks. I think there's some in stock over there that should be on the website. So that was the Clover order. That was it. Look at that. All of these things. Let me just have a look here and see what I have on back order. $353. Did anyone see a 353 locking ring marker? Ah, okay. That's a locking stitch marker, not a locking ring marker. That's incorrect. Okay, cool. I was just double checking my paperwork. Can I bring them tomorrow? Oh yeah, I'm gonna bring all, or at least a selection of all my Clover stuff. So, you know, maybe not all the chibis because there's tons, but at least a couple of each different type. I'm basically trying to bring, I'm going to try and bring my entire, like, the selection, okay? So there'll be a stall at the retreat, and there'll be a selection of everything that I have in stock, if that makes sense. Yeah, if I can bring them tomorrow. I've got a basket that has all my crochet hooks in it from Clover, so I'll bring that basket, and if I have them in stock, I will definitely, you can buy them there, but if I don't, you can't. Does that make sense? No? Okay, good. Clear as mud then. Moving these out of the way because I thought that would take longer, honestly. If you've got any questions about the Clover order, then let me know. Bringing these back in. Clear as mud. So if I have any in stock, which I don't know if I do right this second because I'm not looking, I will bring them. If I don't, I can't. So, yeah. So, if you were to attend a retreat on yarn crafting goodiness, those of you that are coming to tomorrow, then this may not be for you, but for everybody else, I mean, even for you for future retreats, because it's not going to change this retreat. But I have my pen and paper. I'm getting my pen and paper. What would be something that you would love to either see or do at a yarn craft retreat? What would be something that would just go, oh yeah, I definitely want to see that? Because I need ideas for next year to make it more specialer, because you can't just do the same stuff all the time, and you've got to one up yourself all the time. Kathy says, I've ordered the blue shibbies, the sheepy markers, and the regular locking stitches with my Amazon affiliate. Well, thank you for that. That's awesome. I really appreciate that. Kerry's down the rabbit hole would love to see spinning. And would you, just to clarify on that a little, do you mean spindle spinning or wheel spinning? So, yeah, because there are some amazing retreats around. Like, if you ever have the opportunity to go to a Marja Craft retreat, oh my gosh, their retreat is what I would like to be when I grow up, honestly. Oh, Bub, there's never going to be steaking, all right? I can't bear the thought of cutting. I mean, we could do a Chantel's first steaking, because I still haven't done any. Yeah, because that's terrifying. Steaking. Oh. So Kerry's down the rabbit hole is both. So any spinning. Yeah. So what I was saying is the Marja Craft retreats are unbelievable. They are just phenomenal retreats. Admittedly, they're in New Zealand, so they're a bit of travel. And at the moment we can't all do the travel. Luckily in Australia, I think we've just opened up our New Zealand travel bubble, I think, if I remember correctly. I think that happened yesterday. But, I definitely understand that not everyone can get there. But yeah, it's one of those things. Their retreat is phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal. Liz says that my dad was a wool classer and finds information on wool fascinating, maybe a guest speaker, or is that too boring? That's not too boring, Liz. I'm just like spitballing, because I think it's really important for people to understand what they're using, and to make good decisions. Like, I know Bendigo Cotton is good quality cotton. It supports Australian jobs. It's not spun in Australia, but it's using Australian cotton, and there are some, and I think it's important to know what we're using. And so yeah, that would be amazing. So something like a wool class or a wool expert. I've actually already had like 3 names just jump into my head of people that could totally do something like that. Ruth Young, what message did you just retract? I thought I read it. Game Widow says Knit August Nights in New Zealand looks amazing as well. Yeah, they've got a couple of really interesting retreats in New Zealand. Kerry's down the rabbit hole loves the idea of a guest speaker. Oh, what is a steak? Okay, Kerry, hold on to your hat. Okay? So when you knit something, say in the round, and you decide you want to make it a cardigan, or you want to add sleeves and you knit a tube, it's where you cut your knitting. You literally cut through your knitting and then pick up the edges and knit on your bands and things like that. I know there's thousands and millions of people who do it, no problems, all around the world, and it still terrifies me. It's the concept of cutting my knitting is just terrifying to me. Yep. Excuse me. The problem I have with classes is that they may not be something I'm interested in, so I wouldn't want them to include it in the price of the retreat, but as an optional extra. That makes sense too. Is that too salty? And then cut it up the center. Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what you do. You just sit it down. There is some prep work that you do first, obviously, but the idea of it is you literally cut through your knitting. Yarn dyeing. Yeah, dyeing is fun. That would freak me out. No cutting knitting. Oh look, I even get the sweats watching someone else do it. I was at a spinning retreat up on the Sunshine Coast. Excuse me. And they had this amazing lady come in and teach a workshop on it. And I was just like, oh no, back away. I couldn't even watch it. Game Widows, I cut one stitch from my socks while on the Zoom, and Chantel's face was hilarious. Yeah. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't deal. Early. Yeah, so that's some great suggestions for another retreat, or a few retreats, because like Kim was saying, like one of the goals that I have for the Fiberific retreats, which is probably the difference between the Fiberific and the Margicraft retreats, is Margicraft retreats have got like phenomenal workshops, and it's all included in your price. And you have like this one from 9 till 12, and then after lunch you have another one, and things like that. And it's all like you're told this is your workshop. Now you don't have to turn up. There is a room that you can just sit and spin in, but it's really like pretty well everyone goes to all the workshops, so you would be by themselves. And I would like to have sort of like, so we do our Friday to Sunday thing. Maybe on the Saturday have something a bit more formalized. And then Friday night, everyone's just chilling. Sunday morning, everyone's just doing whatever craft they want to do before they have to pack up and go home. And so I'm thinking more along those lines of making it like one thing where people can opt in or out. And I quite like the idea of it being an optional and additional cost, because that way it would mean that I could it would be easier to sort out and organize, if that makes sense, and also know what people want, if they're opting in for it or not. But this particular retreat, it's a chill retreat. This is like we arrive, we set up our craft, we have our space, we yell at each other across the room, drinking tea, coffee, wine, whatever, and just having fun. That's all this retreat's going to be. There's no formalized training in this particular retreat. It's just a relaxation and craft time where someone else is feeding us. We have, chill nights where we're just sitting back with our craft and no one like going, oh, are you still crafting? Like no judgment. It's a no judgment zone. Freaky says, you say workshops, I hear sweatshops. So, Chaos says, I think it's easier if it's a spinning or knitting or crochet retreat, but if it's a multi-craft event, it's harder to do a set workshop. Yes, absolutely. You're right, because this is more of an open thing. Like spinning retreats, you definitely focus on spinning. Margicraft's retreats are very different. So the last retreat, I taught a spindle spinning workshop. There was a lady who came in from Japan, and she taught a paper spinning workshop. There was Susie Brown, and she taught this phenomenal how to make your own yarn with color changes. So it was all about blending on a hackle into color changing, and planning it and doing it intentionally, which was phenomenal. But they were all around sort of spinning, because it's a spinning retreat. So yeah. Sit and spin is something you tell people to do when you don't like them, like go fly a kite, take a long walk. Oh, sit and spin, really? That doesn't mean that here. I just learned how to make socks for the knitting part. I use a 9-inch circular needle. I like 9-inch circulars for socks. See you next time, Liz. Have a fantastic weekend. Freaky says, if I was brave enough to attend, I could teach lessons on making mistakes. Couldn't we all? I wonder how hard it would be to do a Skillshare weekend where everyone who attends runs a session for an hour in a craft that they're an expert in. Well, I mean, it would be awkward, because a lot of skills can't be taught in an hour. But you could give people the option if they would like to run a Skillshare. And that might narrow the numbers down to make it a bit easier, because also not everyone would be interested. Like, Kim, what skill would you share for an hour if you wanted to run a session. Yeah, we have sit on it and spin. Yeah. All the Aussies are jumping in with our variation of sit and spin. I'm paranoid. I just saw something. I'm like, is that a spider? Even though I know it was an ant now. Kim's maximizing drinking time. I mean, that's legit. You are exceptional at maximizing drinking time, but also making phenomenal things at the same time. So, cricket 101s, yeah, absolutely. But could you do a 101 in an hour is the question. That's the hard part, isn't it? So, yeah. Lazy crafting. Oh, look, I'm the queen of lazy crafting, aren't I? I thought I was like super lazy when it came to stuff. Like easiest possible solution, least amount of work, finished thing. Isn't that, that's my goal. Isn't that everyone's goal though? Like least amount of resistance to the end product. Sally says, I'm just going to socialize in person. Look, and that's a big part of this weekend is we're just going to do that. We're just going to hang out and talk and be real humans together, because I think especially right now, that's a really important thing. Carrie's down the rabbit hole says dying with coffee is something I'm good at. Now, is that like intentional dying with coffee, or like dying with coffee like what I do, which is where I knock my coffee and go, oh, well, that's died now. See, something that generally happens at a lot of the spinning retreats, which might be something you're thinking of there, Kim, is if someone wants to learn a thing and someone else knows how to do it, there's quite often you walk past and there's an impromptu one-on-one class happening where somebody wanted to learn how, like, oh, what are you doing? Wow, that looks phenomenal. I wish I could do that. And they're like, well, bring your wheel over and I'll show you. So, I mean, there's a lot of that goes on, and I'm sure that if any of us was doing something at this retreat where people were interested, I'm sure we would, share information. Be like, no, this is proprietary information you cannot learn. Goodbye. Dye pot. Oh, like legit coffee dyeing, like intentional. That sounds amazing. I love a good intentional thing. Kim's class. This is a cry cut and this is wine. Lesson over. Yeah. That sounds so right. Yeah, I like that, Kim. I like that. I'm gonna what did you call it before? My brain is hang on, I'm just scrolling back. Skillshare. All right, I've written that one down. I've got lots written down. I've done tea dyeing from Sally. I remember my mum dyed the lace for my formal dress with tea. And I was shocked because I was like 17 and like, oh my God, Mom, what are you doing? Yeah. John's done some buffalo chicken sauce dyeing tonight at dinner. Well done. That sounds like something I'd do. For me, it's Indian sauces. Oh, look, chicken tikka. That looks stunning. Yeah, tea is fun. Tea is fun. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just getting into the groove. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's in this one here. That would be an interesting class, Talia. Pairing which wine to which craft. I love the natural dyeing. Beetroot is great too. There's a phenomenal local natural dyer who is just insanely clever. And that's Simone from Kim. I've forgotten what Simone's business is called. Gum, no. Oh my gosh, what kind of friend does that? Gum Blossom Yarns, thank you. Gum Blossom Yarns, and it's just beautiful, just absolutely beautiful. She's very scientific about it at the same time. Yeah, just phenomenal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, what am I doing? I'm mixing 2 different rows together. What have I done there? I've done the correct thing there. Okay. I've seen that, Kim, it's neat how old something looks when you distress it. Berry flavored tea. I just used brown tea, but yeah, you could totally use any tea. Don't be limited. Don't be limited by black tea. I'm sucked into this. I'm going to have to put it down because I've got things to do this afternoon, everybody. I have packing up of my shop. I've got finalizing loot bags. All sorts of things. And I can't load the car yet. I can only pack things down and get it ready because I'm taking Tim's car tomorrow, the old X Trail, because I need more space than what my little Mazda can do. Whoops, I nearly did it again. I don't know. I tend not to mix the two too much. Future me doesn't appreciate all the frogging. Yeah. I have a similar thing. Spinning and drinking, no problems. Crocheting and drinking, less. You know, it's the occasional problem. But I can't drink and knit. I have to concentrate more with knitting. Yeah. But in saying that, I mean, the reality is Moscato even really alcohol? Like, you know, legally, yes, I suppose it is. I've done it again. I'm obsessed with doing 2-minute chains. Yeah, there's a lot of things that change when you dye with tea and dye with, you know, things of color, like depending on what mordant you use, what sort of setting you're using. My liver says yes, it is alcohol, but I just ignore it. Future me doesn't like it when I crochet in my sleep. I remember this one project I had to do a few years ago, and it was one of those citron shawls. It's a knitted shawl, and Abby wanted to give it to her violin teacher, but what Abby forgot to tell me was that her violin teacher was finishing school a bit early, so I had to knit an entire citron grand in 7 days. And I don't know how I did it, but I did. I was using the Malabrigo lace. I remember that. And I would sit down at night and just be knitting, right? And then realize that I was asleep and wake up and just keep knitting. It was so weird. It was really bizarre. And like I'd lay it out in the morning thinking surely there was going to be mistakes. But it was like I was just meant to make this shawl for this person. And she loved it. And she kept it in her handbag, because the reason why Abby wanted to give her a shawl is because the air conditioning in the classrooms were quite often just that bit too cold, and she just wanted something light she could just throw around. So yeah, it was just, you know, it was one of those things that was meant to be, and it got done. I could not believe it. I don't even know how I did it. I don't even know. I was waiting for the what Abby didn't tell me was her teacher was allergic to oil. No, Abby's learned at a very young age to check what people's allergies are. And part of it's because her poor bloody mother is allergic to half the planet. Like when Abby for her birthday this year was asking people, like, you know, when friends say, oh, what do you want? And she wanted diffusers, like for scents and stuff like that, because we don't have anything like that in the house, because I tend to react to heavy scents of any description. Anyway, even Abby was like, oh, but no lavender and no jasmine, please. you know, whatever you would like, but no lavender and no jasmine. So she got some really beautiful smells. Unfortunately, she mentioned that she wanted one to 3 friends, and so she was given 3 diffusers. And Abby opened all 3, and they are now dotted around our very tiny house. 1 in her bedroom, 1 in the bathroom, and 1 in the dining area, which is all within about a 4-meter radius of each other. So there's this one section of the house that's just like so yeah, things are weird. Oh dear. So what's everyone going to be working on this weekend? So, you know, I mean, I'm going to be taking to the retreat. I'll be taking this project, my queen, and my spindle. Hopefully I'll get a bit of time to work on all 3. I know not everybody's coming to the retreat, but what projects are you going to be working on? Have you got crochet on the go? Have you got some knitting on the go? How's everyone's queens going? I mean, mine's like stagnant, but I'm hoping to get some more work done on it this weekend to at least push me into the next chart, please. Please, the next chart. I'm still in chart 1. I'm so sad. There was one at work yesterday that was so strong I could taste it. Oh my gosh. Freaky's knitting again, finishing off after finishing off this tinking. Nice. Get back on the horse and keep going. It's so easy to get put off, isn't it? Kathy's working on Bonnie Barker's autumn orange blanket. I saw photos of that. That looks phenomenal. Sally's bringing a cardigan she started, knitted shawl and a Tunisian shawl, but she's going to see how much she actually gets done. Yeah, I totally understand that, Sally. There's a list of oils that cannot be used near dogs as they make them very sick. Oh, there you go. We've learned that Louis doesn't like Abby's helium balloons. We had to move them out of Abby's bedroom. John's working on, I'm going to say your queen. I think I've seen photos. It's looking amazing. But working on it so it's big enough for Molly's bed. Hi, Molly. She's 8 on the 27th. Oh, wow. She's a big girl. She's not little. I need to do another load of washing, more folding, and start my packing, seeing I'll be out tonight. Yeah, I got to get some washing done this afternoon as well. I want my warm pants. I'm getting into dyeing mode again to build a stash to sell at our annual wool fair at the beginning of June. Awesome. Talia's working on Sophie's universe that she's been making for her small human now for a few years. I get that. Lots of people in the chat saying hi to Molly. And happy birthday for the 27th. Oh, she didn't realise the video was live. Oh well, she knows now. Melissa is bringing her queen. You better bring your queen. And Tali's also bringing The Secret Life of Cats and Dogs cowl. Awesome. Game Widow says I'm bringing very little due to my baggage allowance being taken up by bags and stitch markers. I understand that. Haha, not. Oh, Melissa, I was so hopeful that we could have a queen party with our queens. Because I'm bringing mine. I'm just bringing like one lot of colours. I'm not, you know, I'm not unaware of the fact that I put it down. So I have another craft to keep me occupied. And what I would love to be able to do is finish stabbing all of these and finish getting all this done so that I can just focus on the crochet part, and then I can just stitch these squares together and the blanket will be finished. I'm not telling you, you could just use my fabrics machine to make them while you're here. Oh gosh. Sally's finished. Oh, she has to finish most of her packing in the morning. I'll probably be going to bed at 7:30 tonight. Because you have to get up at dumb o'clock for your flight, don't you? Game Widows, you can raid my yarn stash before we leave, and I'm taking all my hooks and needles. Yep. That's the thing. Like, between us, we should be able to help out anybody who can't bring stuff due to travel and flight restrictions. We can always help out our crafty buddies. Oops, too many stitches. Oh, I see what you're doing there. You're keeping me chatting in the chat, so I didn't see the time. Well, I'm going to get to this corner, and then I'm going to end the stream, because I've got things we've got to do. Also, I need to go and give Louis some love, because he's been locked in the house because he can't be trusted in the yard by himself with the chickens. He's not trustworthy. What have I done here? Hang on a second. I'm going to have too many. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's right, into that corner. Yep. All right. There's too many of those there. Okay. You thought I was adding too many hours, like 2 more hours. No, I'm going to have to frog this one back. Somehow I've ended up with 2 more. I needed 16 dittos, but I've got 18. So I'm going to go and fudge it up a little bit to just have the right number. But I'll do that later. Okay, you guys, those of you that I'm going to see on the retreat, I will see you tomorrow. The rest of you, I'll see here next Thursday for the live stream. So, craft happily. Keep an eye on Instagram, because that's where I'll probably be most active over this weekend, because it's easy and quick just to put something up. So make sure you follow Fiberific over on Instagram. We'll get some photos and stuff out over the weekend. But otherwise, have a good week, have a good weekend, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.